Good afternoon. We have assistant coach Danny Cepero ahead of the match against Chicago Fire 2 this Saturday at Belson Stadium. Uh, Coach, quickly, just what are your thoughts on last game and key takeaways from our last match?
Probably the biggest takeaway was we were disappointed to get the loss. I thought we created enough chances to win the game, certainly draw. And I think the work rate, the intensity, the competitiveness were all there. They were all a big part of how we prepared that week, what we knew to expect from Columbus, and just didn't execute and score the goal that we ultimately needed. We think to get the result. So probably the biggest takeaway, a little bit of disappointment, but also a little bit of being pleased with the effort and the intensity.
NYCFC boasts one of the most potent attacks in the league. What are your thoughts on kind of the offensive side of the ball and any key players that you'd like to highlight?
I think the group as a whole, and one of the values that we hold in pretty high regard is selflessness. And I think to be a really good attacking team, particularly in the final third, you have to make selfless runs, make extra passes, really look to help your teammate who may be in a better position. And I think we've been doing that really well. It's something that we train. The patterns are pretty well grooved of what we're trying to do and how we're looking to exploit space and score against our opponents. So I think that underlies everything is the amount of work and selfless running that we put in. So I think it's a credit to the whole group from back to front, and that includes the goalkeepers and the defenders, as well as, of course, the guys up a little bit higher.
We are now through the first quarter of the season. Kind of what are your general thoughts on the league, the opponents, and kind of just NYCFC 2 in general?
Yeah, I think the league, I give the guys, the people who are in the league, a lot of credit, I think, to create something from nothing and do it in a way that is still professional and is still at a pretty high level across the board, from facilities to referees to the matches themselves. I think all of that, as far as quality, has been really, really good. So we've been really pleased with that. And I think we're excited to see how the rest of the season goes. And we know that each week and each month and as it goes on is only going to get better. Things that working out the kinks and figuring out ways to improve the league, the experience for the fans, the quality of play, the integration with first teams. I think all of that will improve around the country, and adding things as we continue to go. I think the creativity is there from the league of looking to add some international exposure and playing games with other teams from other countries. I think will also add to kind of the prestige of the league as we continue to grow and look to add another dimension to U.S. soccer. So we've been really happy with it, and we're looking forward to more.
Shifting our focus now to this weekend's match, kind of what are your takeaways and what do you see in Chicago as an opponent, and what have you guys been working on at the training ground this week?
Yeah, I think Chicago is a really dangerous team, and it's kind of, I say that because we view every team as really dangerous, particularly in this league. We know that there are a lot of variables when teams come to play us or we go to play them on the weekend. First team players playing down, injuries, form, academy players, a lot of that, personnel, those things change week to week. So from what we've seen, Chicago integrates really well from their first team. There are players that come from the first team and play significant minutes for them. So that will obviously raise the level. We also know that they have some youth. So there's a balance, and it's very similar to our setup. So it's almost a mirror image of how we play. So it's almost, in a way, playing against ourselves. I think they're really committed to the way that they play, the style of play, the way that they press, the way that they build. It hasn't really changed from game to game. And even within the game, they're not really changing based on situations. They're committed to that and instilling their playing style on their players. So we're really looking forward to that. It's an exciting game for us to play against a team like that, because we think that's how it needs to be in this league, that the future of the league is driven based on developing players within certain styles and within certain formations, if you like. And it seems like Chicago holds that pretty dear and won't compromise that. So it makes it really challenging, because when they do it well, as far as pressing and build, they are really tough to play against. So it will take us doing the same, being able to execute on both sides of the ball to really get the most out of our players and win this game.
So how is this week different, being that the first team is playing Sunday and you guys are playing Saturday, reverse of what it normally is? Are there any differences in training, the number of players available? How different is it?
Hasn't been radically different. I think it will always change, and of course, things with the first team, we basically like to remain as open and as flexible to what they need and what they're looking for, and that hasn't changed dramatically, regardless of when the game is being played. I think we're still hoping and look forward to any potential players coming down to play with us, but we're also prepared with the guys that we do have to go in and put forth a good effort. So not a lot has changed. Not a lot has shifted. We're kind of always at the ready and looking forward to integrate whatever and whenever we need to.
And going back to the offensive production, what has been the key to that offensive production this season, being that we're leading the league in goals scored?
Yeah, I think a big one was our performance against Miami. I think anytime you can put 7 goals in 90 minutes, it's a cause for celebration and will obviously help the stats. We know that won't always be the case. I think consistency will be key, and that has really driven us. I think we were also disappointed not to score a goal against Columbus for that reason, is that consistently we've been able to put goals in the back of the net. And when we don't, if it's because we don't finish chances but create them, then we're not happy. But at least we can say, okay, we're creating chances. We've now just got to get a little bit better in executing and finishing. But we've been able to generate tons of chances throughout the games, and I think that has then led to a lot of goals being scored because we're in good places at the right times.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.